My M21 best friend F21 is in love with me. I can see myself loving her in that way, but there's some things that I cannot forget about her and I don't know what to do. Too long didn't read. Best friend who broke my heart years ago is in love with me now and I don't know how to get over what she's done to me. Hi guys, English is not my first language, so sorry for bad grammar. This post might be long. It's my first post in this sub, so bear with me. This girl, we'll call her Madison, told me a couple weeks ago that I am her best friend, and that she's in love with me, and I kinda love her too, but sometimes when I think about us together, I can't see the reason why she would even love me at all. First of all, we've known each other for about 8 years, she was my crush since the beginning, she is B today. I fucked up, easily the prettiest girl I know, but we only managed to become friends about 3 years ago when we started talking on WhatsApp, and she was great, our friendship started great, and she knew I had a crush on her but never took me serious when I said that I would be down to have a serious relationship with her. Fast forward 1 year, something happened, she hurt me, like a lot, in a single week. She told me she was developing feelings for me and was thinking about starting something between us. I was really happy. Imagine your crush of 8 years finally acknowledging you. Well, we started talking about it, and I really thought we were getting somewhere, but on the same weekend then proceeded to hook up with another guy at a party. She even told me so after that she was only thinking about herself and didn't care at all about my feelings at the moment. She was so sorry and everything. I was so done with it that I just forgave her and told her to not talk to me anymore because I simply couldn't look at her. After that, my life changed drastically. I started going out more, meeting more people, attending parties which I never did before cause I'm a church boy since 10, and really became an extrovert. I saw Madison sometimes since we had friends in common but we never spoke much. But then something happened, a friend of us got everyone in our social circle against her because of something she didn't do, and suddenly she had no friends. I didn't want to be part of that BS, so I shoved every one of them out of my life, and then it was just me and Madison. We started talking again, not in the same way. I did not forget what happened. Now in 2020, she just dropped that bomb in my WhatsApp and I cannot stop thinking about it. I love that girl, but I can't even bring myself to hug her because of what happened 2 years ago. She messed up with me more than once. I did get back at her a couple of times but never this bad. I know I should get over the past, but I don't know how. It's scary. My first broken heart was from her, and now we're in opposite positions. I don't know what to do, guys. Update: I did not expect to get this many answers from people trying to help me see clearly. I read everything and I plan to answer most of you when I can. For now I need to clarify some things. First, I do believe that she's being sincere with her feelings. At the time, she told me she was talking to her mom about me. Her parents and mine are close friends, and the mom made her realize how she felt regarding some stuff about our friendship. She's becoming very jealousy of me becoming someone who is not attached to her nor anyone. I am by no means saying that she's being sincere with herself. I believe is something that eventually she won't feel anymore despite she saying the opposite. Second, I'm seeing her this weekend. Hopefully we can talk about the subject. If it really comes to us trying again, I decided it will be on my terms. I can't have her feelings like she has the upper hand on me again. I know her so much that I know how she's thinking. I'll give you guys an update as soon as I can. Again, than you for your answers. Update 2. Some of you might be wondering why I would try again. It's because although both of us have problem and a bad history, we are good friends, have good synergy with each other, and she's not my type, but she's very attractive, and my change over the year made me look attractive to her. All of our friends think we're a good couple, so maybe it is right. Ask yourself, what will you regret more, giving it a chance or remaining friends? I was in a somewhat similar boat when I was your age. I was asked out by a friend and asked for a few days to think about it. I thought I was going to say no. Then, a friend asked me which I would regret more, saying yes or saying no. I knew I would regret saying no, so we went on a date. We've now been married for 6 years. I'm not saying you'll marry her, it could be a disaster. But which choice would you regret not taking? You're hung up on this woman and have put her on a pedestal. That's number one. I don't think this is something you can pursue. I don't even think you see her as a real person, but rather someone you've had a crush on for so long that then hurt you by sleeping with someone else when the two of you were talking. Probably best to cut ties completely, go no contact, and move on. Well, you should be able to know if it is not right if you have a date or something to test the waters. A good date used to be to attend some activity you are both new beginners at, like maybe bowling or the like. Anyway, her position being abandoned could make her want to use you, till she finds someone else. So do you want to give her a chance or abandon her again? I don't know about a date to find out if it's not right. You guys were best friends for a long time. We already know the compatibility is there. You guys will have fun. You can't let that fun cloud your judgment. What you need to do is find out if she has commitment. Does she still lack empathy and will act out of selfishness regardless of your feelings? Follow your gut. People can change and leave their toxic behaviors in the past, but understand that her breaking your heart can happen all over again. No one can control her own actions of messing around, and you have to be ready for that possibility at any point. It sounds like you changed and became more her type, but you should also be judging if she is your type. It sounds like you are good friends, but she indeed seems quite selfish and insensitive, and might definitely hurt you again in a relationship. If you feel like that could be your type and you stop feeling bad for the past, you can go for it. But you should at least be ready emotionally and realize that even if things don't work out with her, it doesn't reflect on your value as a person. If you still feel bad about the past, it would probably be better not to get into it with those feelings, causing insecurities and resentment. Also, the crushes from such a young age are often mostly based on being around a person a lot. There is a huge possibility that she actually isn't your type as much as you think, and you wouldn't do as well in a relationship as in a friendship. I'd say do not pursue this. You clearly have been more emotionally invested and longer. Now that you've gotten some distance, she drops the second bomb. The first one was when she was just interested in you, and she self-sabotaged that chance. You've had feelings for her for 8 years. She didn't become friends with you until 5 years into knowing you. She knew you were interested, expressed interest herself, and then torpedoed the chance she created. She's now isolated from her social circle, and you have been her safe harbor. Once she rebuilds a new social group, or reconnects with the old one, I do not doubt she will back away from getting serious. She may even act out again. Ex-fiancé found rings while cleaning out house and wants to keep them. My ex is leaving the state with our 2 young boys to go live with family. We decided a split was best for us both, so we packed up the house and she'll take what will fit in the car. While cleaning, she found the wedding set I bought for her a few years ago, and asked if she could keep it. Now, I do still love her, but I doubt we'll ever get back together. There's also that nagging bit of her having emotional relationships with different guys on her phone. I guess I just need to know I'm not in the wrong wanting to get the rings back. You're not in the wrong. I'd ask for them back, but I also wouldn't fight for them if it gets contentious. All the legal stuff about who they belong to aside, what do they mean to you? If you are going to sell them, you likely won't get much for them. If you want to keep them, that is certainly your choice. If you have no personal attachment to them, it's probably not worth the fight, and I would just let them go. Did you ever give her the rings? Were you married? If you did, they're hers. If not, they're yours. Engagement rings are contingent on getting married. Even if he gave them to her but they never got married, he could still legally ask for them back. If you never gave the rings to her, they were never hers. That's a wedding set that you bought to give her in the future but never gave her. I think it's still yours then. Is it worth fighting her about it? Not sure about that one. My parents, 41F and 48M, never let me 17F go out of the house alone. They don't let me meet my friends and even make me skip my classes if no one is there to drop me off. According to them, I am still not of the right age to be trusted to go alone outside. I'm sorry if this sounds like I'm whining, but I am really upset because of this. Also, if this is not the right place to post his I'm sorry, I don't know where else to post this. I live in India. Like the title says, my parents don't let me go out at all. They don't let me meet friends or even go to the store, which is literally like a minute away from our house and visible if you stand near the main gate, even if I need something and no one else is free to fetch it for me. Hell, I can't even go outside to the main gate without a strong enough reason, and if they don't think the reason is good enough, they send me back in, even though it's visible from upstairs and downstairs, even if you're sitting in a room. The only way I met my friends earlier was in school or at my private tuition, where my mom used to drop me off and pick me up. My tutors have asked my mom to let me out and let me be independent, but every single time my mom would come back bad-mouthing her and saying she has no right to tell me how to raise my daughter. I have freedom to wear what I want as long as it's not very revealing. I have a personal phone and laptop and they never monitor my online activities. They think I am not on any social media platforms, but I have accounts on a lot of platforms, though I do not upload any picture and only use them to talk to my very close friends. I am very careful on the internet and never do something even remotely irresponsible. Now, like I said, the only way I used to meet my friends was in school, but since COVID, I have not met any of my friends for almost a year. I don't have a lot of friends, but I do have a few handfuls whom I cherish a lot, and unfortunately none of them form the same circle. Thus, I need to hang out with them individually and want to spend some quality time together. I have been wanting to meet my friends for a long time, but I have never asked to be let out. The issue is, I asked to be let out once last month and my mom said no. I was upset because I thought since I'm just a year away from college, they'd let me have a little independence. But after a couple hours of sulking, I did come back around and was never aggressively mad. This week, however, one of my very close friends invited me to catch up the coming weekend, and since it's Diwali, I thought mum would let me. Even though my friend is a boy, which neither of my parents like that I hang out with guys, we have nothing but a platonic siblings sort of relationship, and my mum knows that. She has even met him several times and he's always polite and well-mannered, even more so than me. But when I asked my mom if I could meet him, she said no. She didn't even bother to ask where or when or for how long, because we were meeting like just 2 to 3 minutes away from my house, during the day in a pretty popular and new cafe. I wasn't just upset then, I was mad. Told her how it's unfair cause all I do nowadays is study. I may not be a genius or a kid who's always studying, but I never score below 90% in important exams. I do slack off on the unimportant ones, but I score very well on the crucial ones. Also, I never ask to be let out. I was quite aggressive when I slammed the door to my room. I didn't talk to her all day, which wasn't a big deal since I had online classes anyway. I asked her again during dinner and she said no again. We had a fight and I returned to my room again after half-heartedly eating my dinner. These events occurred yesterday. Today she talked to me about a couple unrelated things, but I was hardly speaking a word or two. Same with my dad, cause she told me my dad had said if I ever demand for such useless stuff again, he'll cease all of my classes, take my devices away and will discipline me. The way he said discipline in our native language, it's very offensive, and he meant it in a corporal punishment kind of way. My mom has said similar stuff. They then started to insult me and berate me, not in front of me but in front of my room so they knew I could hear them. They always say mean and hurtful stuff, but I never show or tell them that I'm hurt, cause when I do, they always guilt trip me and somehow it ends up becoming my fault for being hurt, so to their words. It will be the same this time too. But I want to know if I'm the one who's being unreasonable here. Should I have been obedient and accepted my mom's answer without putting up a fight? And even so, how can I get my parents to let me go out so I can be independent? Being able to commute alone is something I desperately need to learn because I plan to leave the country for my future studies. I am confident that I can handle being alone if given an opportunity, maybe not in a completely unknown surrounding but places which I'm familiar with. But they never trust me. Are they just protecting me? Am I the one who cannot understand their concern? Or are they being overprotective? I'm afraid if this goes on, they will not let me pursue a higher education in a different country, which I really, really want. Too long didn't read. Parents don't let me out alone, even for the shortest of distances, and if I get mad because of this, berate me and call me bratty / threaten to discipline me, in a very wrong and offensive manner of speaking. Edit. Thank you everyone for all your advice. I have not yet read all the comments, but I'll be continuing to do so in a while. I just wanted to address a few things here. My parents have never hit me or used corporal punishment as far as I can remember. They have a rocky relationship with each other, which inevitably affects me as well. They prioritize my studies and career over anything else. They have always planned to send me off to the best colleges, which are far from where we live. Recently it was discovered that the degree I want to pursue is much cheaper abroad, and even the best universities are easier to get into than in India. So financially I don't think they'll reuse me, but because of these overprotective reasons they may pull out at the last moment. A lot of people mentioned how I can still distance myself by going to a university in India. The thing is, I can't. I want to pursue medical studies, and conveniently, my mom's profession is in medicals. Thus, wherever I go to study, she can easily take on a job there. Abroad will be very difficult for her because, 1. She is not very well spoken in English, 2. They won't give her visa for work before she even has work, and 3. She can't get a job very easily there, cause even though she's very well at her job, she's not marvelous that they choose her. Now, some things happened last night. My room is connected to the living room, so I can hear everything they say unless they talk in hushed whispers. Last night, when they thought I was sleeping, they were discussing me. I'll try my best to translate without losing anything essential. Dad, we have done so much for her, sacrificed so much. Why is she always like this? Why does she act this way? Mom, if this happens again, just cut off all her classes. No need to study, she'll just sit home. I don't think this would happen, but for some reason, I feel they just might do this. Maybe not permanently, but for a while, which will result in me being very behind my work. They also said meeting friends or having affairs are useless. All she needs is her career anyway. Listening to them say that made me question if I was actually being unreasonable. So, for now, what I think is the best option for me is to just put up with them and stay under their control, because apparently they did not expect a near-adult teenager to have a little freedom. Hopefully, I'll move abroad and then I can put my foot down. Thank you to everyone for giving me advice. I'll try to follow through your advice and save money to be independent quicker. I'll also keep searching for ways to make them less protective and controlling. Thanks a lot for all your advices and support.